Okay, so they're still on patch 14.2. These two teams are still on patch 14.2, guys. So we'll be taking a look at that. That's why, you know, it'll be a little bit different in the meta. We have Caitlyn Vi here. Caitlyn actually coming up as a Lucian Milio counter is interesting to provide some range. Ruler has been great on the Lucian, obviously. You guys have missed it in some of the JDG games.
Curious what support we end up getting. Whether they end up going for something, you know, a more typical support like a Nautilus kind of thing, or you can also go for things like the Lux, which is...
All right, so Caitlyn Lux trying to play the high pressure lane, the backup of the Vi.
If you add in the Vi, is like you can just kill someone from 10 miles away.
So the other thing is that, as we stated many times, when you play the Lucian, Shobes, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Amaresu. So the Lucian here wants to play on the front line. And so you have lockdown with Vial. You can hit a light binding, a Q with Lux. So that can be very powerful as well. So that feels pretty good, and you should have advantage in the laning phase also. So a good lockdown, good answer to Ruler's Lucian, because obviously whenever you play against Ruler, you're going to be concerned about that. Oskuhe, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
He was a Lucian one trick in the top lane for a long time, way back in the day before he was a pro. So it feels...
Yeah, you can't pick Tom Kench with Lucian. Well, they already picked Milio, so they wouldn't be doing that.
I mean, they banned the Udyr, right? So you have the...
Unless they did something insane, like play a top lane. Blind Cassante, so we're just going to save mid lane counter pick. Well, Hui has been picked, so... Talia is available for Knight, and we are going to see Flandre on the top lane TF. All right.
A lot of the changes into enabling that ADTF.
Pretty, this is a strong poke composition, but again, they lack a really, you know, reliable form of primary engage. Sure, you have the Xin Zhao, right? You have the Xin Zhao, but he is, again, gated by his ultimate, but you have really strong poke, you know, poke with the culling and Lucian dashing in, poke with Hui in the late game, and very strong side lane pressure in the TF.
It's an exciting draft. New mid laner in Hui. Lyric, it's JDG versus BLG again. It's the first time we get to see it this year. We got to see it about 22 times last year, and it was JD every single damn time. Well, they swapped mid laners. See how it happens as we...
So Knight going to be down here very early on. This is, again, to make sure that you actually get favorable pressure at right from the get-go on starting with his sweeper. See if they ward right here. Nope, just going to put a Talia Q in there to make sure nobody's standing in that brush. Now we have forward pressure right away.
It is a much longer lane. It would be very easy for Talia, Knight and Shun going up and punishing, more so than I feel like it works in reverse.
Vi hasn't skilled yet. Vi going to start red. W start red.
Yeah, I'd kind of put Flandre in the slightly more...
Or E start Raptors? Oh, E start Raptors, okay.
Actually playing to that side of the map. And you have a Caitlyn Lux, so you're not necessarily incentivized to do so.
Yeah, it's one of those matchups where in that top side, getting Flandre's flash is so incredibly valuable. If anyone can get up there, if Shun can go for an early gank and try and force the flash out from Flandre, it will set up Knight to be able to make those kinds of plays already.
Interesting start, actually, for Vi. Raptors, Krugs.
Fully expect Caitlyn and Lux to control this lane, at very least until Lucian has abilities to try and close the gap and get some damage down.
Yeah, then a lot's going to come down to, right, on and out being able to land the poke, whittle him down, so you can't just look for those dashes and all-ins. If Ruler's never full HP, you're not going to be able to get on top of Elkinon safely. So, should be in control of this lane. We can see Shun pathing down, which is what you'd expect to be able to give them that level of attention that they'd want. I wouldn't really expect to see BLG putting all too much into top lane. Maybe until that first reset comes out from Shun, and then you're already back up towards that top side. Maybe you look for a gank, and you're closer to the time when Knight would be hitting that level 6 mark.
Ganavi pathing up towards that top side, though. Perhaps he can... I mean, is there a dive argument? It is a Cassante. There's a big damage out from Yagao. Using this... I mean, Hui just seems like such a lane dominant.
So here we go. Third wave crash into the bot side. Plate already taken. Game plan going well so far.
Right? I mean, again, you have so many different ways to lock people down.
For BLG.
I mean, your QE as a slow, your ult as a slow. Obviously, a lot of people use the W for the 3.
Jhin didn't invade Vi level 1 to 2. Yes. That is what you definitely want to do against Vi's in a lot of matchups. We see that a lot with Poppy into Vi.
And the fact that Elkin on as well, know that Kanavi pathed up towards that top side. You can see there was a ward at the Raptors. It's given away that.
Is Susie still in esports? She is not doing esports right now. She's kind of burned out on esports. She likes more of the grassroots community esports stuff. She's become pretty disillusioned with it as, you know, it's just become a corporate shit show. So.
Pretty low on CS right now on the side of Ruler. Looking for this all in, but the binding hits won't be able to find their way in.
Like you're saying, doing a decent job. All mana from Ruler is gone, so we'll see how much more he can do, but Elk is so incredibly low.
He is. Heal available for On. He still has...
Yeah, Vi is right here, so they're going to have a chance to just level up and back off.
For the all-in. It's not going to happen for now. They're going to go for a reset here. Oh, the damage coming out from On already, chunking people.
Let's see if they're going to have to go for the disadvantageous base. Looks like Elk is just going to end up sticking around in the end. I mean, shouldn't be too much threat from Ruler missing. You know, once we hit the level 6 mark, won't be able to stick around like this because you have to worry about things like the culling, chunking you out from under turret, but not going to have to worry about anything like that thus far.
And I feel like theoretically... Oh, flash forced. Yagao was winning out that mid lane, but Knight gets his opportunity.
Is T1 #1 on your ranking? As of right now, yeah. We might do another ranking. We'll see if we do one later this week or not, or the week after. But yeah, I mean, with current performance, with BLG, you know, losing in such an embarrassing fashion, by the way, to IG, like I think you have to just lower them a little bit. But this is an important win for them versus JDG. They're still going to be like top 3.
But now in a position where they can contest the wave, going to open up for Kanavi to be able to kind of go.
Yeah, when did Yagao flash? It looks like he interrupted the recall. Yeah, he interrupted Knight's recall and then had to flash for it. So that was a mistake on the attempt to punish.
Who's down towards his bottom side? Kanavi has started the Drake. He's already used the smite on the Drake as well. Elk is baiting. He's got his barrier available. He wants Ruler to go aggressive and go aggressive. He does. Shun doesn't go for the way in though. Decides they don't want the fight in the end.
No, gonna back off.
It's a really good Drake timing though for JDG.
Still down a bit of CS, which is what you'd expect from those first few waves, but now in a position.
TF diff and topside huge though, especially with the extra gold from TF passive.
Had Prio in topside because we have the ranged matchup from the TF. You had Prio in mid up until recently, so just overall really good early lane states for JDG, which is giving them the small gold lead. I mean, I guess a lot of it's going to come from Flandre as well, right? Especially with the new passive in terms of critting, making it so you can earn even more gold.
Yep. Flandre actually using the ghost there, maybe thinking there was more of a chance on Bin than there was, but it's a ghost for ghost, and Kanavi gets the Drake down bot side, moves up to the top side. Flandre actually used his ult as well in one of those.
This is great for Kanavi so far.
Bin was in a brush, and Flandre just wanted to keep his distance, keep getting those autos in. He's built almost a 20 CS gold lead. 20 CS lead in that top side right now. Fantastic performance coming out from him so far.
And a bit unexpected.
Nah, you can't put any LCS team in power ranking. I was hopeful that maybe Cloud9 might eventually be able to crack top 10, but Unfortunately, no other team has the combination of talent / veteran players, because FlyQuest's bot lane would get absolutely demolished at any international tournament.
Such a good start when they draft for it, right? They obviously having planned to use this ADTF and topside.
Yeah.
Kanavi so far has been having a great season as well, so he's a great player to try and play around to get a lead. He's been doing so with these neutrals.
Oh boy, this Caitlyn looks to start to come online. The second you're hit by a binding, you're just chunked immediately. And you know, fair play to Ruler and Missing. They did a really good job to weather the first few levels and trade more evenly, and even forced Elkanon out of the lane, got Prio for the Drake. But this lane does not get any easier for now. Kanavi's moving in, but Shun is here as well. Level 6 acquired for both junglers. This could get really interesting down on the bottom side of the map. Kanavi moves onto the warden immediately. Elk and On have to flee for their lives. Heal going to be used for the movement speed, but Kanavi flashes to knock them back. On flashes, Elk flashes as well.
Nice knockback. Jun has ult, but they're all too healthy. So no real opportunity to use it here. I mean, this is a good punish onto the bot side. I mean, this bot side, the thing about Caitlyn Lux is perpetually pushed up, so he just becomes the focal point for both junglers whenever they're in a game together. Nice knockback onto Elk from Kanavi.
Missing follows in suit, but the football just ain't enough. And it will be a play diffused. Shun moves in, but decides not to go for it. That's the second time he's visited bot and just kind of looked.
Great job by Kanavi, though, to be able to get those summoners with the flash knockback. Maybe an overkill for Missing flashing forward and throwing out the Q himself. I don't know what world that would have been able to continue the play, but the hype was clearly still there, and now it's going to be a lot more dangerous for Elkanon to be able to push up as freely as they've had. We'll see if Shun's gonna...
Does Wei actually do damage? Yeah, he does, especially as you get in the late game. It's really just his poke damage that's so devastating come the late game. It's very strong.
I feel like there was maybe an opportunity if he could have hit those Qs while Ghost was down, but
Y'all really hate Masu Busio? No, nobody hates them. I actually think Masu is incredibly talented. I'm not calling them bad guys. I'm calling them rookies who will get, you know, their asses blasted once they go international. I actually think going international would be very good for them from an experience perspective. I think Masu is a mechanical beast. I just think they make boneheaded decisions and like almost or completely lose the game for FlyQuest in the bot lane. They just need more experience.
Knight has Weaver's Wall. Monte's probably just dead.
he has flash available, but I don't think you even get much chance to use your flash here, to be honest. Pin doesn't even get an assist. That's unfortunate for him, but not the end of the world. You got the kill, and that's what
They're just, you know, they're just young.
Now that's going to count as a solo kill for Nightweb.
And they don't play in a region where they can get the kind of experience they need to be competitive internationally immediately. You know, they're not Pays, who's in Korea competing with the best. Like, they've got, if those guys were in Korea, I think they would be a lot better than they are right now. But the only way for them to have good competition is for them to go to compete at an MSI or whatever, right?
Ends up being his downfall. Knight just honestly kind of being given a free kill since he didn't use that Weaver's Wall earlier.
Honestly, pretty greedy from Flandre there to stay when you're so low, when your mid lane has just started and you're against a Talia. I'm not sure what else he expected, but great play from Knight. 2-0 already. What a start for BLG. And Knight saying hello to his old squad, saying hello to his replacement in Yagao, setting it up, pulling the flash out from his opposing member earlier on, and it pays dividends now. But JDG back onto the map immediately, and they're looking for 6 grubs.
I think it's good for the composition, right? When you have the TF, that's what you're setting up for. But BLG ready to answer.
I missed old JDG. Yeah, me too, man. I really wish we could have had another year of T1 versus JDG rivalry. That would have been really fun with the same rosters both years.
Would you say that BLG are the modern FPX then? Is that where you'd go with
No,
that one? I feel like that was an FPX thing in a very different way.
Yeah. I feel like the only team I've ever seen like really go to the FPX extent is actually predating FPX. It's 2015 HQ, who used to just everyone go bot every chance you can get. BLG, it's, you know, they go bot, they destroy bot, and they're like, yo, let's go elsewhere. Let's go do other things. We don't only need to go.
Do you find it baffling that Valorant and LoL only has 2 to 3 international events per year? We all find that baffling. Riot is very bad at calendaring. I mean, they're very bad at running esports in general. It's amazing LoL has gotten as big as it has been in spite of Riot being garbage.
Going to be a problem for BLG. ADTF might be the best void grub abuser in the entire game.
Yeah, but again, you're gonna have to keep being on standby for these Weaver's walls, because Flunder's gonna constantly be pressuring up against turret. Wait, I gotta pauses. On Kanavi, not gonna be looking for any of that smoke just yet. I do want to point out that Weaver's Wall is about to be back up, and BLG have a comp that kind of can play to both sides of the map. Usually it is a little bit risky, but I think their bot lane has a lot of defensive tools.
Oh, they dodged. Nice. The binding lands. Okay, they're not actually going to commit to anything. Just a bit of damage onto Kanavi there. They managed to dodge away from the W from Kanavi. Look at this, by the way. Elk, in the meantime, just stacking up plates. They've got 4 plates. I think 3 of them were solo.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them were. The third, not positive, but still just wanting to hang around this area, which is allowed.
Yeah, nice bait here.
To play so aggressively, it's kind of fending off Kanavi from being able to make his way into his jungle with his red buff spawning soon. Even going to open up for a scuttle crab for Shun.
This matchup's exciting because it's probably the 2 best bot lanes in the LPL. Elkanon and Ruler Missing going against each other. So it's fun that a lot of the focus is already down here on the bot side of the map.
Continuing to build a big old lead up in this top side, about 20 CS up. Able to get 2 plates for himself, and I feel like we are at the point of the game where he will be able to turn that into more. This is your last minute to get those plates, but he's got a bit of attack speed, he's got those grubs to work with. And Elk might be able to finish this tower. A couple of headshots would do the trick. There's the passive. Tower finished with the plates up as well. Bit of harass onto Ruler, although the shield actually stops the entire...
Okay, so now the play is to put Talia into the side lane, put Caitlyn and Lux in mid. They're already doing that. Plates are going to go down, so they're not actually going to get more plates off of this, but this is where you can create a strong mid push into the next Drake spawn.
Start to be a bit more proactive on the map. Maybe now that Caitlyn and Lux aren't locked into the bot lane, they actually can more confidently start looking for picks with the Talia and the Vi, because now Elk and On are going to be in a much safer spot, catching and pushing waves in mid.
Yep, they can just push mid on repeat, and even threaten the mid tower if JDG shows elsewhere on the map as well. It becomes incredibly scary because Caitlyn takes these towers so quickly. You can see Stormrazor picked up for Elk at this point, as well as those boots. It's a terrifying siege machine.
Going to Sonic, what should I get? I don't know. I haven't been to a Sonic in years.
I mean, just first time
What's good? The milkshakes were always good at Sonic, right?
Finally, I was gonna say Flandre picking up the static.
I probably haven't been to a Sonic in like a decade.
Level up the pushing power by quite a big margin.
Now, trying to get this damage down.
Tater tots, nice. Oh, oops. I meant to go back on that one.
By quite a big margin.
So here we go. Here's the mid movement that we talked about. They're going to try and get a gank off right away. This is the power, by the way. This is the power of having that Vi. Is that you know he's going to dash up to try and trade, so you can actually just one-shot him, basically. Very nicely done. Even through Milio ult, even through Rulers, Cleanse and Flash. It happens so fast. It's a great Flash Q. Straight into ult. And then Lux ult. Not sure what actually got the Elk flash for that. A little unlucky. What did On get it with? What did he get the kill with there? Was it Lux passive? I'm actually not sure what got that kill. Lux auto on passive. Yeah. That's what it looked like. Knight's here because Knight can always join these fights from the side lane. Very nice play by BLG. I don't know who wins which games in this series, guys. So
kind of panicking, hoping that he could finish that one off. Did go down in the end. Does open up for the Rift Herald. Dragon isn't going to be too far behind.
Well, you said you wanted to see more proactivity for BLG.
Don't you love League's clarity? Yeah, it was a little tough to tell who got the kill there. Phenomenal collapse, though, from BLG. You know, they had that all planned out. You can see BLG's comms are still really, you know, really strong. Able to get, you know, switch their bot lane into the mid lane, have a plan for when the Lucian overextends. Everybody comes in. Super nice. No, you want to save this Herald for mid.
I was going to say, they could actually get pinched on. I don't know how much a Lux flank would have done. So a lot smarter for On to be meeting up with them, but still going to prevent any action from really coming on through. It's a bit peculiar to see both teams rotating up towards top when Dragon just came through on the board. But we're going to get a replay here of exactly what went down, and you hit the nail on the head, right? Great control.
When is Power Spike? Tuesday.
Missing walking up. Shun Q flash, just beautiful. And again, a bit unfortunate for Ruler. Flashes to follow, not expecting the burn to be able to finish him off in the end, and allows for the return kill to come through with Kanavi.
I'm not even sure what that final bit of burst was from On, honestly. I wonder if there was an auto traveling in the air and it was Lux. Even sure.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think there was some sort of auto that was Lux passive there. I never even saw it. The whole thing is just so fucking wacky looking. Like, I'm looking at this, I don't even see the auto. But it does look like I think this gold, it's always difficult to tell what is going on sometimes in League of Legends. I think this gold spark is the Lux passive proc. That's my guess, guys. It's hard because he has this shield on him. But it looks to me like he has the Lux passive on him. But I don't actually see the traveling auto attack, which is a little bit odd. Like, I don't see the auto, but it looks like that. My guess is, guys, that sparkle thing, the gold flash, is the procking of the Lux passive.
Flashes to follow, not expecting the burn to be able to finish him off in the end, and allows for
Auto's right after R. Oh, right. Go back to just before the flash and you can see it. All right, we'll do that.
Great control over this brush towards top side. And again, a bit unfortunate for up. Shun Q flash, just beautiful.
So there it is. Yeah, she threw the auto. It just gets lost somewhere. I don't know, guys. I saw the auto animation though, so.
There was an auto traveling in the air and it was Lux passive that went on to, because it didn't look like a burn rate, it looked like a proc of damage, but not sure.
League of Legends, clearest game of all time.
And Helg ends up unfortunately losing his own life for it. But yeah, Drake started up. JDG should be able to get this one. Looks uncontested inside of BLG as they send Knight back up to the top side and get some kind of answer at very least. Bit of gold into Knight's pocket. Not that he's not already had a bit of gold in his pocket, to be honest. Knight has got incredibly far ahead of the curve in this game.
Yeah, I mean, his Seraph's already just, fully completed, right? Having that one online, the lifeline passive there, to give him a little bit more safety to play with. And I really like what BLG are doing here.
Yeah, there is the Herald. This is the push you want in the mid lane. Wall him up. This is beautifully done by BLG. Look at that, guys. You love to see macro play like this. Oh my god, then the traps get set up. It's beautiful. And then they get the light binding. Oh. Mwah, mwah, mwah. This is great play around Caitlyn Lux. Woo. This is the kind of shit that gets me all hot and bothered in League of Legends, guys. The beautiful macro. Yeah, Ruler is going to have such a hard time living with this into this composition. Like, The value of the Vi ult is so huge here. And yeah, the single target burst damage. He has to do that too in order to get anything done in this game. You need to play forward on the Lucian because that is the way Lucian is played right now.
And this is pretty much like prime BLG, how you want to see them, right? Shun and Knight on things that can be proactive, that can create plays. Elkin on things that are very strong in lane, and you're kind of playing around their positioning, especially Alec, when you can just leave him to his own devices to put out DPS. Like, this
playing Lucian in this game feels so awful. I mean, they first picked it.
Working wonders with it, as you said. I mean, just immediately able to.
I mean, Lucian can be very strong. You see the poke damage that he has, but you just it's like unplayable, especially if Jun and Knight are on the flank. Because if you get caught in the E field by Talia. And also, it's just the chain CC. Because, like, think about the number of plays this composition can make from this situation, right? Okay, yeah, you have cleanse, but you don't have cleanse down now. Milio ult, you have that. So you have 2 ways to get out of CC. But you could get Caitlyn trapped right here. You could get Q'd right here by Lux. You could get W'd back on E from Talia. So even if you have all of these escape options, it feels super bad. You could get ulted by Cassante, right? You just get ulted out or whatever. It is very difficult, I think, to play the Lucian into this draft.
Not stop the Vi from being able to get to the back line, and there is that tried and
you see the setup here too. Okay, so he did have cleanse, or this was Missing's ult. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was Missing's ult. Yeah, it was Missing's ult. I think. It's hard to tell because I can't see him because he's at the bottom of the screen. Oh, his cleanse. Again, guys, these cooldowns are all wrong, so it's hard to see what's going on. He uses the ult first, actually. So that was the ult first that he used. Estuary, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. So he comes in, pops the ult immediately. There wasn't even CC there, though. So that's like pretty awkward, actually, that he uses the Milio ult so early. And then that means cleanse has to be used right here, but it already is set up for the Talia W, and he just gets blown up. Missing cleanse Kate trap. Oh, okay. Oh, he cleansed for himself. Ah, yes. There we go. Correct. Well, he actually can't cleanse Kate trap while it's on him, by the way. If he's CC'd, he can't use ults. But it doesn't matter if you use the cleanse there or not, because it doesn't help you versus the Talia W, and it doesn't help you versus the Vi ult, really. So, I mean, this composition is just so good, and you can tell BLG has their win con like locked in here. They know exactly how they're going to play, and that is beautifully played into the solution. Beautifully.
But actually, he didn't TP in for a good little while. He had to move into the.
You can Milio. Oh yes, you can Milio while rooted. You just can't do it while stunned. True. Or Renata, you can't Milio ult while Renata ulted or stunned.
3,000 gold lead, and they continue to push the advantage here, push in all 3 lanes at this point.
But I do believe you're right. You can Milio ult while rooted.
And right, as Bin's getting more resistances, it's only going to be harder for Flandre to put any meaningful damage on him, which is going to allow him to push up and also kind of dissuade that TF pressure. Just a lot of things going against JDG right now.
So I think even though you have cleanse and even though you have Milio R, it's still super doomed just because BLG has so many different ways to punish the Lucian being forward.
Items under his belt, it's him. The rapid fire cannon gonna try and help match him with the range being put out by the opposing squad.
I feel like JDG really want like a scrappy, close quarter, like messy. Realistically, BLG want the exact opposite. They want to be as far away as possible and just space JDG. And I feel like it's hard for JDG to stop that happening with the composition that they've got.
I feel like the problem is, I think BLG also actually just win the opposite way as well. I feel like if both teams run headfirst into each other, the problem is between Vi, Lux, and Talia, we've seen it time and time again, they just get to guarantee one person dies if Shun's ult is up. Because you get to chain it into all the other CC and burst. So
Yeah, I agree.
easily. So it feels like almost every fight you're fighting is going to be a 5v4. We still really have yet to see what this TF has brought to this game other than the lane prio that he had. Hasn't really been able to pressure sides, hasn't been able to find an impact in any of these fights.
Why do you think that LCS and LEC don't have best of 3? LEC does have a lot of best of 3s and best of 5s. LCS is just cost, guys. The league is dying. The league is dying. LCS. Why would they pay a bunch of people who have Los Angeles day rates more money to do best of 3s? The only reason LCS has increased viewership is because they got a bunch of Brazilians and Europeans to watch it, which do nothing for their sponsorships.
It kind of like the longer the game sits and the more we look at the drafts, right? It feels so hard because you have to worry about a Vi who can point and click CC pushing sides, which, you know, Knight doesn't really have to worry about.
TF looks really useless. No, he dominates lane and he actually does provide a lot of map pressure and pick potential later on. I think the issue is that he's better with pick comps. He's better with pick comps. And they're not running a pick comp, really. There you go, right as I say that. There's the value of TF right there. Pick into objective.
Kind of the opposite problem where it is the side laner that's picking you off. In the meantime, Shun on that Drake. So great opposite play.
Yeah, even with all those Brazilians, viewership only went up 4%. Yeah, dude, it's embarrassing. Bayano's co-stream is 17% of total LCS viewership now. And not only that, but if they were not getting hosted by LEC and Cadril, like rated by LEC and Cadril, their viewership would be in the absolute dumpster. I tweeted about this, guys, but if you go to ES Charts and look at their latest article, you can literally see that the moment LEC ends and they get the raid, their viewership goes up by 88%. So it would not surprise me if LCS is now majority not North American viewership, because probably most of Cadril's audience is European. Let's say 2/3 of them are European, right? Then there's the Europeans who are not watching on Cadril's stream. And then we know that 17% of the audience is now Bayano's co-stream, which is like 1% American, maybe.
My eyes on Knight here. 2 items. He's had an incredible impact earlier on in this game.
So, yeah.
Actually, 2 items at this point. He's gone for the Infinity Edge second, so he is literally very little attack speed. He's going all damage.
Yeah.
Why is LPL seem to be the only region that values Kate Lux? Kate Lux is very binary. So, you know, if it goes badly and you kind of lose the bot lane and their jungler owns you, then you lose the game. So it's, I wouldn't say it's high risk. It's like medium risk, high reward. Is there any way to salvage LCS? I imagine they're going to combine it with CB LOL. I don't know if that saves it. Like, does it get you more North American sponsorship dollars? No.
That would kind of be giving JDG the perfect chance to look for that engage on you at this point.
I imagine they will combine it with CB LOL.
The best thing about this comp is trying to pressure those towers, right? But it feels so difficult to step too far forwards, especially against this Twisted Fate. The one thing I will say, Caitlyn can do incredibly well against Twisted Fate. You drop, this is assuming Caitlyn's not currently under massive amounts of pressure and having to run away, but if you can place the trap underneath the teleport, it's a free headshot, and Caitlyn does a lot of damage with those headshots, especially if you can Q on it on top of it. So Flandre does have to be careful on his positioning, especially with On being able to follow up with bindings as well. BLG just full control of this mid lane and setting up with control towards the Baron area as well.
Now really doing a nice job of denying that vision. I mean, they have some mean brush plays that can come through. Ooh.
Oh no.
Showing us Ruler's Flash.
And you know, that usually
they have some mean brush plays.
Off of it. You can place the trap underneath the teleport. It's a free headshot, and Caitlyn does a lot of damage with those headshots, especially if you can Q on it on top of it. So Flandre does have to be careful on his positioning.
Ooh, yikes. That's so game-ending, actually, because Ruler already has such a hard time living, and then he just wastes Flash. Oh, my God.
Now really doing a nice job
It's
of denying that
definitely
vision.
Jover this game.
Mean brush plays. That can come through. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Showing us Ruler's flash. Now really doing a nice job of denying that vision.
Oh, there's a
Mean
picture-in-picture.
brush plays.
Oh.
That can come through. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Showing us Ruler's flash.
And you know, usually I'll say that our
Fat finger D when he meant to E, yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Well, he's an animal who uses Flash on D, so he deserves what he gets. That's why you don't use Flash on D, guys.
And there we go. Actually moving towards the rest of his team. Bin has teleport available if JDG try and brute force something, but not really sure if they can brute force anything on. Force the flash, ult comes out, and Kanavi's underneath the tower. In the meantime, Shun goes to buy space for his team. Flashes back out.
Bin's here now.
Culling finishes him off. Finally, JDG on the board a little bit here. 1 for 1 though, as Bin looks for a little bit more.
It doesn't matter. They're all going to die. Bye, Ruler. Oh. Doesn't get hit by Q3. All right, he lives.
And I feel like we're starting to see that the
Where can I see these low LCS numbers? Go to escharts.com and go to news and tournaments. There's a whole article about that was released about LCS's viewership where they show graphs and everything. It's actually so doomed. I can't believe that they would just be...
I'm surprised they were willing to commit so much for it.
I'm just shocked that they would be making PR statements about, like, viewership is up 4% when ES Charts shows basically that they're full of shit. And it's so easy to show that they're full of shit.
Bin can just start running the rest of them down. They have the on. I'm surprised they were willing to commit so much for it. Does get the fight going. It all gets a little bit messy to start off. Sure, they have the burst of the culling.
I like how Flandre just walks back up and gets hit again by crowd control after getting Vi ulted. Nice Caitlyn ult too into the back.
And you just look at Yagao and Ruler. I mean, we saw Ruler to burn his flash. Oh, like, not had to, but burned his flash only a moment ago. It didn't look like they were anywhere near comfortable to really be able to follow up after the initial engage happened.
Great little fight from BLG, managing to play it defensively, play backwards, and the QSS essentially coming out from on just in time for the gold card, keeps himself safe. Elk is doing huge damage in this game now, and it feels tense, it feels dangerous for JDG, but BLG do feel like they're sort of stalling out a little bit with this composition. You kind of want them. Oh my god, the headshot damage on Ruler. What is that? Elk absolutely chunking his opposite man. Drake has spawned onto the map. 2 Drakes apiece here.
Setting up just for now. BLG being incredibly patient. Looks like Shun's just going to start that one off by himself. They have wards around the pit, so they know JDG aren't even approaching. So this looks like it should just be a free soul point, but JDG catching on, realize they need to start moving up to the Baron. They need to threaten something.
Okay, TFTP right into the pit. They do this so incredibly quickly. And this is Caitlyn's nightmare. Trying to play into the enemy team is not what Caitlyn wants to be doing. JDG peel off of the...
I don't think this is Caitlyn's nightmare.
Trying to deny the exit, but Bin just takes a chunk.
I think this is Vi and Knight walk up and they can't do anything and they lose the game. Like, you look at this, you're like, oh, it's only a 2K gold difference, but then you realize that it's actually just almost impossible for JDG to play this game.
Go for the same sort of threat again. This one should just be soul point. I mean, I guess JDG didn't even have to threaten the Baron the first time.
Guys, I think what's funny about the LCS is that if they hadn't moved back to weekends and gotten the LEC host, like, you just have to ask yourself, what would the viewership be if it was like last year and they didn't have the LEC raid? Their viewership would be down by like 20 to 30%, is my guess.
But there are certainly teams in the league who would.
Yeah. I mean, it's good practice, isn't it, to threaten the opposite play in case your opponent doesn't respect it. Missing, stepping out of the brush for a second there, trying to look juicy, trying to bait them in. They're not going to fall for it. It's BLG, a very controlled game here. Much slower than we're sort of used to seeing BLG play. But remember, BLG
Is there any world where TF can split? No. Because you would just get your shit pushed in because they can siege. You don't have, you know, you couldn't resist the siege that would come in from, like, the Caitlyn Lux. Plus, I'm not even sure that they can split into this Cassante anymore.
Teams definitely in the top 3 of people's power rankings coming in. I think at this point, whether people would rate JDG above Tez or not, who knows? Hell, even rating between these two teams, who knows until the series is fully fleshed out. I do gotta say though, Knight has typically had Yagao's number. I think a 65% win rate against him across their careers in LPL at internationals.
He has. And I will say, Yagao, he's had a couple of rough games this split, to be honest. There's been a few times where he's not really on the same page with his team, sometimes not playing on tempo with them, not pushing the wave at the right time, etc., etc.
Even just mechanical missteps in some games. Yeah. I remember his Azir play top where...
Do something JDG. I mean, like, they can't. Look at what happens when Ruler steps up. They have no tank. Like, how can they do anything? They have no tank, guys. Their tankiness is the length of a Xin Zhao ultimate. Look at that.
Even just mechanical missteps in some games. I remember his Azir play top where...
He literally just gets bopped, like, one shot by Elk there.
He couldn't dash away from the turret and almost died. Or did he die? He might have died.
It's like that's like an RFC headshot proc right there.
In some games. I remember his Azir play top.
Look at that.
Where he couldn't dash away from the turret and almost died. Or did he die? He might have died. Speaking of death, Bin not going to go down to the jaws of it today, much.
What is that segue? Speaking of death.
Me being very profound once again, you know?
It's like the gold diff doesn't really tell the story of this game, right?
He certainly is.
Like, JDG just has to pray for a catch, but you can't pray for a catch when you're just A-ramming, right? There's no like TF ult that makes sense in that scenario. You can never face check a bush as JDG's comp either. Like, you actually just can't clear vision. Like, who is going to walk into the brush?
Destiny behind. I think he has 4 items right now, so Flandre's pretty huge.
Oh, had Ghost and Flash, so he gets out, not in range of Viol. Ooh, that damage, though. All right, they cash out Knight a little bit, but I don't think that matters. Okay, yeah, they're all dead now. Great draft, I think, for BLG this game, and really good execution of it as well. This is a very impressive game, I think, from BLG. Like, playing around Caitlyn Lux super well, playing around their win conditions super well, controlling Ruler this whole game. Very, very nice.
JDG not even interested is going to lead to Baron going over for Bilibili.
This might be the chance for Bilibili to find...
A game is actually unplayable for Lucian. Why is NA viewership so low if year over year, if LCS did surprisingly well at Worlds last year and the product seems to have gotten a lot better? I mean, I agree with these sentiments that they did do well at Worlds and the product has gotten better. It's that North Americans don't want to watch League of Legends, and the game Riot did a very bad job of making young people care about LoL. That's it. And also, like, a history of being hot garbage and TSM leaving the league. I mean, there's a lot of factors, I think.
It feels like if there's a squishy target there as well, Elk just turns his sights to them and they vanish. They cease to exist. One auto comes through onto Flandre at the end of the fight and he just vanishes. The headshot, now it's getting through the shield. It is definitely getting through the shield at this point.
LTR finished.
Yeah.
He's huge.
4 items on the Caitlyn. It's definitely scary. We're past the mid-game lull that everyone always talks about with Caitlyn. We are very much at late game crit 80 carry that outranges everything else in the game.
And JDG trying to just fend them off, but it doesn't even look like they're doing any damage. And look how built Flandre is. Like, Flandre is a huge lead in terms of CS because he's been just permanently keeping those sides. but not able to do too much. I guess in the last fight, he did kind of single himself out, which ended up biting him in the end. We haven't really gotten to see him DPS, but it seems like the lack of frontline, just having to rely on only Kanavi, is making it really hard for JDG to find any type of fights that they want.
Tough situation for JDG, though. This is just going to be sold by BLG, and
3 mountains in a mountain soul on Cassante.
Squidfish says, I used to watch the only players I like still in the league, and despite being on weekends, it's still at a bad time due to working weekends and being East Coast. Yeah, I mean, also, you can just watch League of Legends, better League of Legends in any other region. So what's the point in watching it? No personalities, no, no legacy teams left outside of Liquid and Cloud9. No, no real international success. You can meme about JD or G2 last year, but EU has made 2 world finals and they've won MSI. Like, the history of League is just so much stronger on average in terms of performance in Europe.
It's a close one though for BLG, and here comes Flandre looking for the TP behind them. Where did he go? To the mid lane.
Oh, he's Flandre's just playing a different game right now.
He just saw 4 minions.
Yeah, I was gonna say might pivot top, but with the Baron buff, not gonna be able to do that. I cannot believe Kanavi survived for so long. I genuinely want to know how he didn't get popped earlier, with just how much damage being thrown to him.
Great, man. Knight's Talia walls have just been on point this game, guys. Think about how many good Talia walls he's had. He isolates Yagao. Ooh, so sexy. Gets his flash out. Beautiful. Knight too fucking good.
A lot of the damage comes through, but ulti's popped. And
yeah, so I think he got knocked back away, and that pushed him out of Elk's range. So then that last headshot is blocked by the ultimate after a bunch of healing comes through from missing.
Yeah.
So
and
just about managing to survive.
Even Knight, I think, was also right outside of it on that opposite side of the wall. So bought enough time. Honestly, kind of lucky. Bought enough time.
How is the game not over yet? Well, I mean, they have Mountain Soul now. I think BLG is just playing a really clean game. They don't want to throw this. Remember, they're coming off a pretty embarrassing loss. So I think, and the JDG, this is one of their harder matchups in the regular season. So I think they're just playing conservatively. I mean, they know they can continuously get pressure. They know they can get Soul. They know they can continuously take Baron. I mean, they just take the next Baron and win the game, right? There is no real engage on JDG. They can't walk up. They can't deal damage. If they try and deal damage, they just get Vi-ulted. I mean, it's so doomed. As soon as Jin Zhao ult is down, the fight is over, basically. Knight is here. Oh, look at Knight, dude. Look at it. It's just beautiful. That's fine. You don't care if Knight dies at this point. Fine, commit everything. Scary. Baron was at 1 HP there for a second. Knight's too good, man. All right, Kanavi, you kill him. Who cares? That's so scary, by the way. He smited it at 12 of 1.
In the meantime, Baron has gone down, been surviving the culling as Knight will fall here. Flandre, in fact, Kanavi finishing that kill off. But
that's fine. You take that trade every time. Fine. I mean, I guess they got the jungler. Actually, I wasn't paying attention. I guess they got the mid laner right as Elder comes up, so it ends up being an all right play. I wasn't looking at that. That's actually great. Holy shit. Good read by JDG. I wasn't paying attention to the Elder timer, guys. Like, they actually conscientiously make the trade of killing Knight so they can take Elder in response to Baron. That's really good. That was actually a super good decision by Kanavi. Because, look, they can't walk into that pit and live. There's no way they can test this. So the best way for them to win this game is to kill Knight, let them have Baron, and try and get Elder and force a fight. Because remember, if they have Elder and they have Twisted Fate ult, maybe they can actually make a play. Now, if BLG isn't dumb, they just kind of wait out Elder with the Baron buff and just chill.
Not having a dark seal in his inventory. It's not often you see that. He has died 3 times this game, so maybe this isn't the game for it. The top side is Flandre, zips away on the other side, and we're in full retreat. Trying to find an opportunity on that top side where we can maybe pick someone alone, but it's opened up this mid lane for JDG.
Oh!
Where did Missing go? We're in full retreat. Trying to find an opportunity on that top side where we can maybe pick someone alone, but it's opened up this lane. Flandre zips away on the other side, and we're in full
That's so
retreat.
crazy. What does he even get hit by?
Opportunity on that top side where we can maybe pick someone alone.
Holy fuck, dude.
But it's open.
He actually, that's so crazy. Elk plays that so well. He just fucking headshots him.
Find an opportunity on that top side where we can maybe.
He headshots him, and then he flashes forward, nets back. Right? Flashes forward, nets back. I mean, he tries to pop ult to save himself here and heal, but because there's another headshot incoming right there.
It's opened up this mid lane for JDG.
Oh!
That's so nice.
Just one-shot him, and he one-shot Yagao as well. This damage is Elk just one-shot him, and he one-shot Yagao as well.
That's so
This
crazy.
damage is insane. They're beating them with Elder
Dude,
JDG.
BLG has big balls to go for this fight, but Elk sees the angle and makes the play. That's so well done by Elk. Holy shit.
Off of Summoner's Rift now. Gonna be able to push forward 50-second. That timer's
Demolished. Yagao as well. Where we can maybe pick someone alone, but it's opened up this mid lane for JDG.
Oh.
Where did Missing go? Elk just one-shot him, and he one-shot Yagao as well. This
Oh my
damage
God.
is insane. They're beating them with Elder Dragon. JDG.
Just waits till Kanavi's ult is down, then he just walks up and gets the kill. Damn, so nice.
We saw them and then they disappeared off of Summoner's Rift. Now, gonna be able to push forward 50-second. That timer's much. They have a lot of time to work with.
Fight spins.
Credit for BLG. It's a really well played game by them.
Take down JDG.
Yeah.
That was fun.